You are listening to Venus Rose, interactive spiritual Q&A and the power of sound. Music is like sunshine. Hello, conscious souls. How are you feeling? Yesterday, we had the exact new moon in Aries to wrap up the season, which is still felt today. Although it is finally getting warm where I am, everything feels slow. Many beings feel tired, including myself. A big stellium of 7 or 8 planets, depending on if you count Eris, the goddess of strife, in or not. It is a dwarf planet, similar to Pluto, in the Kuiper belt, who had a conjunction to the Sun on Wednesday the 15th. According to the brilliant astrologer Molly McCord, the archetype of Eris represents the raw feminine, the disruptor of systems, something that was uninvited in society the last centuries. When she is conjunct to the Sun in Aries, she brings up the energies where you have felt abandoned, ignored, silenced, or treated unfairly. McCord continues, Aries represents the deeper emotional and energetic imprint that lives in our psyche. She brings up what we need to declare from an empowered place. Eris represents our uncompromising identity, who you become here to be, without requiring permission or consent. End of quote. I personally feel like the current energies are about a purge. What has been suppressed is coming up to the surface. Marginalized emotions, uncomfortable truths that have been ignored by us are being brought to the surface these days. And depending on how we deal with it, determines our opportunities to evolve. This time is about change. Like my friend Sarah said, for something bigger, better, and brighter. Eris helps us as a catalyst for that, supported by this powerful new moon and the fiery power of this bandwagon of planets pushing. Before the Sun is heading into Taurus season in the upcoming days to ground things, at least a little bit. It is a time of purification. There is an underlying current that is daring and says, I deserve more, or let's say, I deserve better. I visited an old friend yesterday, and we had the most beautiful talk about the past, the present, and the future. Everything screams, new, new, new. The fire horse is prancing its way forward. In my recent one-on-one sessions, it was all about deep emotional, unidentified stuff that made itself known through prominent symptoms in the body. So my question for you today is, what did come up for you? Where has the marginalized voice been speaking to you the last days? To remind you where the torch has to be lit in order to liberate something from the deep oceans of your super subconscious mind. For me personally, it is about visibility. I was born in a country where my skin looked different than the majority of people around me. There was no place to hide. Not that I wanted to hide, but I was always visible. Sometimes friends, other times co-workers envied me because of it. But they did not realize what it meant for me, that there was a weight. To live in that position where the people who surround you all have expectations. Especially when you are young, you want to fit in, but I never did, on so many levels. It all had a spiritual underlying energy that I learned to understand in the last decade. I am an introvert who can be extroversive when I want to. I'm not shy, but people refer to me as poised or calm. My goofy side only comes out when I'm with my closest friends, preferably while dancing. Interestingly, when I was a kid, I thought about myself as some kind of ninja, a being who moves without being seen and has the abilities to be quite impactful if they need to, and to be more precise, a warrior. But actually, I don't like to fight. Maybe not anymore. I prefer to observe and create a new scenery with my frequency. A queen shouldn't swing, sings Jill Scott in one of her songs. Why should an empress? I am telling you this about me because I want to emphasize on the dichotomy I've lived all my life, and to give an example how such feelings can come up and want to be heard. Diverse layers of the wish to be average in order not to stand out all the time, and all the expectations others around you have because you look a certain way or simply because you look different. That is not always negative. There can be positive things too. Nevertheless, sometimes I felt robbed by my freedom when I was young. Today I know that was only the case because I let them influence what I felt. To be clear, I did not let people dictate anything. On the contrary, I have always spoken my truth. But often people don't care. They have an idea about you and put you in that box. I felt hurt back then. Today, not anymore. I understand the mechanisms, and still those mixed up feelings about being visible came up again, and I had to purify what needs to be let go of in order to thrive, to shine brighter each day. Taurus season is coming up next week, and this means that I'm heading into my second season. Thank you for everyone who tunes in to my show and checks out my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds. And of course, all the ones who send me questions. I always love to hear from you. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and I just learned recently how much weight the zodiac sign has in my birth chart. The upcoming season has earthy themes like food, money, beautiful belongings, values in general, all 5 senses, and so on. You can leave questions in my comments of my YouTube channel named Crystal Seraphim Sounds or my Instagram. For those of you who do not have social media and love to send questions or would like to book a one-on-one session to go on a soul sound journey with me, send me an email for further details. You can find everything in the show notes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a beautiful weekend. Love to you all. Rose.